All right, Jackpot City.
We are live. Good
We are
afternoon, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, how's everyone doing out there?
Hopefully great.
Yeah, we're all loading up here. Welcome to our Facebook live stream. My name is John Gardner, and this is my law partner and wife, Radlyn Mendoza.
Hey, guys.
And we are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza and have been for 24 years now. 23 years now.
Yes, 23 years.
23 years. So welcome. We come to you every Friday at 12 o'clock to give you immigration updates. And more importantly, we'd like to answer your questions. And I also want to say hi to all the folks over here on TikTok. We have a whole bunch of people that follow us on TikTok. We'll follow Radlyn. She does the TikToks, not me. And so we have the folks joining us through Facebook, but we have even more folks that come through watching us on TikTok. So
thanks for the love, guys.
Yeah, the TikTok world is big.
It's huge. Anyhow, so we, as John said, we come to you live every Friday, and the main purpose of our live stream is to help you move forward in your immigration case by answering some of the questions that you might have. So that's what we do, and that's what we're doing today. So load up your questions. It doesn't look like we have any questions yet. People are just joining, and where we are located, we are on the East Coast of the United States in Virginia Beach, Virginia. That's where our office is located, and we serve people all over the world and in all 50 states. And it's been awesome to be able to go on this journey and be able to touch so many lives all around the world. It's cool, not just in our area, because immigration law is federal and we can do immigration law in all 50 states. So if you guys have a question, we'd love to hear it.
All over the place. California, Texas, Florida,
Colorado.
Yep. Also, I want to mention that a reminder, a disclaimer, that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. So even though we're answering questions, we are not giving legal advice. I want to make sure that's very clear.
Yes. Right? Informational, educational, and entertainment.
Oh, that's right. We added entertainment
purposes
we decided
only.
To add entertainment purposes the other day. Yeah, and happy Cinco de Mayo for those of you who are into that. I am, because, well, I'm part Mexican, so, it's in my blood.
That's right. That's right. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone who's out there celebrating and the significance of Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. You know, the significance of Cinco de Mayo, it is that it was the Battle of Puebla, and the Mexican army beat the Mexican military beat the French military. And they were super strong, the French military, and that's why it is celebrated and recognized. But more, it's been recognized in the United States to celebrate Mexican heritage and culture. And there's certainly a lot of that going all around the United States in our area.
I just finished a mushroom quesadilla for lunch. So
that's right. We celebrated Cinco de Mayo yesterday at our office at Cuatro de Mayo.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Cuatro de Mayo.
Because we really didn't want to deal with the crowds. It gets super busy. We did not have margs though. No margaritas, no Coronas. But yeah, maybe tonight.
In the very, very early days of the law firm, there was a little more of that. That's long since gone. Now we do have fun. We try to have some fun, but we're pretty serious about getting all of the work done, getting it done efficiently, quickly, accurately, so on and so forth. So sorry, the margs have left. They've left the celebration.
Nobody ordered margaritas yesterday.
The margs left years ago. The margs were only around for like years 1 through 3 or something, and then they dropped off.
That's right. Some of our team's going to be enjoying some margaritas tonight, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's grab the first question on TikTok.
All right, let's get a question going here on TikTok. And remember, we're answering questions for informational, educational purposes only, not legal advice. If you want to reach out to us, if you decide based on something going on in your own case, or after hearing something we say here today, that you are ready to hire legal counsel to move forward with your immigration case, you just decide, you know what, This is worth it to me to get this done by a professional, get it done right, get it done quickly. I'm going to hire a lawyer. Then absolutely reach out to us, and we would love to represent you. All right, let's see
Absolutely.
what the very first question
And
is
while you're
here.
looking that up, guys, we do have a little bit of a TikTok celebration today. Our very first client from TikTok, which was from 2 years. Yeah, it was almost 2 years ago. She just got a green card. So
That's right. That's right.
it was awesome. It was like right after COVID and everything. Well, not right after COVID, but things were still pretty slow out of the gate with COVID and immigration processing. And she just got a green card. Congratulations to our very first TikTok client. Thankfully, we've had many more since then, and we're all in the process of helping all the people that reach out to us and that we represent. But congrats.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel good because starting the TikTok page was just something for fun.
There's a lot of info on Radlyn's
Yeah.
TikTok page. So if you go to her TikTok, you can get a lot of your questions answered just by watching. I recommend you just start with the first one and watch every single one of them, and then you'll know it all.
Watch hundreds of videos. All right.
All right. My favorite one still is the one that was the
There's
video
a lot of
thing
silly
with
things.
the French wig on and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Da-da-da-da-da.
ask the question.
Okay. Here we go. First question is from Brittany. How do I transfer my case? It's at the NVC stage without my spouse living in a certain country. I'm not sure what she means by living in a certain country.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So when we do transfer of cases and we're requesting the case to be transferred to a different embassy, my understanding, and I have not done the transfer recently. One of our wins of the week, one of our paralegals mentioned that the win of the week is successfully getting case transferred to Kazakhstan. So I'm not sure whether I'm kind of in the back of my mind. I'm thinking that you have to be residing there, and there has to be some type of connection there. So I'm sorry I can't answer that question right on point, but it is something that can be requested through the National Visa Center. And it does take some time in order to get that done. They may or may not transfer it. So hopefully that helps as far as putting you in the right direction. Hopefully you are being represented by an attorney, and that attorney can definitely guide you through getting that transfer done and whether or not that's a feasible thing, whether if the beneficiary does not live in the country where you want it to be transferred. But off the top of my head, and when I did these regularly, I feel like there needed to be some type of connection to the geographic area where you're requesting transfer. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, when Radlyn was talking about the win, thank you for that. I hope that helps, Brittany. Yeah, we do a fun thing in our office every Friday. We ask everybody on our team to share at least one win of the week. I mean, we have several things that go well, but this, to pick one thing that was extra awesome that maybe was not expected to happen or something.
Well, right, and sometimes difficult too. Again, the transfer being mentioned in the win of the week is indicates that it's not. I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed. And for those of you who have worked with the National Visa Center, and it's tough. It's tough to get answers. So
sometimes the wins are just fun things. Mine was reconnecting with some colleagues that I haven't sat down to have a meal with in quite some time, and Radlyn was with me as well.
That was fun. Nice. Yeah, it's good.
One was Greg Montero. If you have any business law issues or estate planning, give him a call. And one was Kellum Parks. If you have family law issues, unfortunately a divorce
and business stuff and cybersecurity.
Yeah, and cybersecurity.
They're all in our backyard here in Virginia Beach, and these are all practice of their areas of law. I think it would be pretty much limited to Virginia, and their other attorneys might be practicing in the surrounding states, like criminal law too.
These attorneys have practice areas that are state specific. As Radlyn said at the beginning, we practice immigration law, which is federal. So our clients can be anywhere in the country because the immigration law that applies evenly across all of the states since it's federal law. But things like criminal law and business law and divorce and custody, those things vary from state to state. So the laws in Virginia are going to be different than, say, the laws in Utah. So if you do have those issues, you may need to reach out to somebody local. Well, you will need to reach out to somebody local. But if you're here, those are two great guys, Greg Montero and Park Ziegler.
All right.
So
let's Parks. little shout out to our colleagues there. Let's answer Deepika's question here. Will I be eligible for VAWA, which is the Violence Against Women's Act, if my spouse I-140 is approved, but his prior date is not current? And by the way, VAWA, even though the name of VAWA is the Violence Against Women's Act, we also assist men in getting VAWA. So it's really just Violence Against a Spouse Act. VASA maybe should be called that. Although derivative minors can also be eligible. All right. To answer this question, Deepika, it sounds like your spouse is not yet a lawful permanent resident of the United States. And one of the requirements is that the person, the abusive relationship, the perpetrator is a lawful permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. So if your spouse does not yet have the LPR, lawful permanent resident status, then unfortunately you would not be able to file a VAWA case if they are not yet a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. So hopefully this information helps and helps you move forward. All right. Do we have I'm glad we've got a bunch of questions over here.
Yeah, we do. Sorry, I just lost them all because when they load, it pushes all the other ones down. So let's start from the beginning here again. We got Brittany.
All right, Brittany.
All right, the next up was Roxy. Roxy says, I sent an I-130, but I entered my husband's information instead of mine. And now I've had to send an error letter. What? And then that's the end of her question, but she's probably wanting to know like, what's going to happen? What can I do about this? What was I thinking? I don't know what her remainder of her question is.
So
she's got
an error letter. I mean, you're really going to have to wait because since you've already sent an error letter, right? That's what you can do at this point. You're going to have to wait to see what that receipt comes out as, right? When you look at the I-130 receipt, if you've already gotten it, I'm not sure, but you have to see whether that error letter corrected the problem. I would also take the extra measure of calling the 1-800 number and just making sure that that letter was received or trying to find it. It's tough to get to talk to a live person. So, you're always getting hung up on, or they're wanting to go through the, all the other different trees. So it's also tough to get through. I think that you've done what you need to do at this point. I would add the 1-800 number. I would also just keep on it. And don't, you are going to keep on it. The fact that you're on here and you're asking this question and you're a little bit concerned about it, it's not like you're going to forget about it and let it go. But as soon as that I-130 petition receipt comes in, just make sure that the beneficiary is the right person, the petitioner is the right person. And if not, if it's switched again, you can go from there to try to get it resolved, because then you'll have a receipt number and you'll be able to attach that error letter to an actual file number that they can look up. I hope that helps.
Yeah, good luck. Hope it all works out.
Okay, so Dave says, I have a Filipino girlfriend who works in Japan, and I want to bring her here to be married. How approximately long does this take, and what is the cost? So this is a pretty loaded question.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of information that could be
Right.
unpacked
So, I
just
mean,
right here.
I'll start with what are the goals, right? I see that the goal is to bring, okay, well, if we're just looking at the face of this question, it sounds like Dave wants to do a fiance visa. But the question is, does Dave qualify for a fiance visa? And the requirements for a fiance visa are, number one, Dave has to be a U.S. citizen, right? He cannot be a lawful permanent resident and file for a fiance visa. Dave and his Filipino girlfriend must have seen each other within 2 years of filing that fiance visa petition. So if he's like many people we have spoken with, and they say, "Oh gosh, we saw each other pre-COVID, and we haven't been able to see each other again," then you're gonna have to take a trip, most likely. Okay, there are exceptions to that, but for general requirement purposes, you'd have to see each other within the 2 years. So both of them, Dave and his girlfriend, have to be free to marry. So that means that they are not married to anyone else. They are of age and sound mind to make the decision to get married. Those are the general requirements for the fiance visa. And fiance visas, right before this live stream, I looked up. God, they're taking, it's insane, guys. Fiance visa petition, just the petition, taking 16 and a half months right now. So when I'm looking at all of our previous live streams and I'm crossing out all the months, right? Like here, this is from December. I'm crossing out 14. It was 14 months. And then I'm crossing out I'm putting 15 months. And I crossed that out and I put 15 and a half months. And now I'm crossing out again. Actually, I just have a new piece of paper because it was just getting messy. And it's taking about 16 and a half months right now for USCIS to approve the I-129F petition. So the reason I bring all of this up, well, Dave asked the question, how long is it taking? But that is just the very first part of the fiance visa process. There's also a couple of months at the National Visa Center. There's going to be a few months also to schedule that fiance visa interview. And then when your fiance comes to the United States, you guys have to get married within the 90 days. And then you have to file the green card application and all the other applications that can go along with that, including the work permit and permission to travel. And so that can take another 18 months to 24 months, depending on what the timeframes are. So it's a really big, long process. When someone asks a question like this, or if they do a consultation with us, we really get deep down into the goals of what the couple might have. So I talked to Dave and his Filipino girlfriend, and I say, hey, on the fiance visa, you're not going to be able to travel for probably about a year. You're not going to be able to work in the United States for probably about a year. And that might not be acceptable to his girlfriend, for a variety of reasons. Maybe she has elderly parents and she really has to be able to travel on a dime and right away in the event that she has to go visit them. Maybe she has worked, she likes to work, she enjoys working, and she can't really imagine herself being home for 12 months not being able to work. And maybe Dave is in the military and by the way, he's actually going on deployment. So right about the time his fiance gets here, she's going to be all by herself. So these are some of the scenarios that we've, obviously heard from our clients and people who have called in to make a consultation. So Dave, long story long, give us a call and make a consultation and let us help you find the best option for you and your Filipino girlfriend that may not be the fiance visa. And who knows, you may not even apply, you may not even meet the requirements based on all the things that I've said. So great question. Got to do a little mini fiance visa requirement spiel, but it's a great question and a question that many, many people have because
it comes every week.
Every week.
Every week someone asks this question. So
on the live, and we consult with people every week, multiple times a week.
I mean, on this
for this question.
I specifically meant even on this live every week.
But it's a great question. Thank you, Dave, for allowing
Yeah.
allowing me to talk about the fiance visa.
Yeah.
But there are other options.
Give us a call.
Speaking of call, let's tell the people how they can reach us.
Yeah, this is how you can reach us. We'll put our banner up there. And for those of you just joining us, I want to tell you again, I'm John Gardner. This is my law partner and wife, Radlyn Mendoza, and we are the founding partners of the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. Started in the year 2000, so we're now in our 23rd year. And we come to you once a week to answer your questions, but not give legal advice. What we do here is for informational and educational purposes only,
and entertainment purposes.
and entertainment.
If you think that we're entertaining.
Okay.
All right, let's grab a
And there's
TikTok
information
question
on the bottom. And for those of you on TikTok who can't see that, the phone number is 757-464-9224.
And that is the number we have had for 23 years.
That's right. It is.
I think it's a pretty good number that we picked, right? 23 years ago. I think we had our share of numbers to pick. That's a pretty good one.
I mean, I have it completely memorized.
Did we have 557-0001 at some point?
We did.
Okay. I don't want to confuse
Don't
anybody.
call
That's
that
not
number.
the number.
We went back to the graveyard of
How did I even remember that? Who here remembers their childhood phone number?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Or you can contact us, info@gmlaw.net. Okay.
Or through Messenger or through TikTok. But it's best to just give us a call or shoot us an email, info@gmlaw.net.
Okay. Melissa wants to know, says, hi, I have not received biometrics appointment yet, but I got the 48 months I-1751 extension. What should I do?
So this is such a great question. Again, we can talk about the I-751. The I-751 is the petition to remove the conditions on lawful permanent resident. It applies to people who have a 2-year conditional green card. And the 751 is taking so long right now that they are sending people out letters that say, your green card is extended for 4 months, because for 48 months, 4 years, because guess what? It's probably going to take us about 48 months to get to your I-751. That's crazy. That's just nuts. But it is the reality of people who have filed their I-751s. And a lot of people who are watching this have filed I-751s. And so what should you do? As far as waiting for the I-751 petition to be approved, there's unfortunately nothing that you can do to speed up this processing time. If you are eligible for U.S. citizenship during this time period, then what I believe you should do, if you are eligible and you get vetted and it's safe for you to file for citizenship, and you've talked to a lawyer and made sure that it's safe for you to file for citizenship and okay for you to file for citizenship and it's time for you to file for citizenship, you should file for U.S. citizenship. And you can do that even though the I-751 petition is pending. So N-400 is the application that you use to file for U.S. citizenship are prioritized over the 751s. Now, that's an anecdotal observation, but it's true. And it plays out when we file N-400s for our clients who have I-751s pending.
Yeah, and and just as a side note, if you are going to apply for anyone out there who's considering applying for citizenship, you should absolutely reach out to us before you start that process.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. We had one. I think we've got a lot over there that I think we're all the way back up there now.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
Starting with Joe was the next one.
Okay. Joe Shell says, hi, attorney. I sent a letter to USCIS Phoenix and any other evidence for an upgrade for my husband petition because I became a U.S. citizen, but I haven't received any acknowledgement letter and I'm worried. Number one, you shouldn't be worried that you did not receive an acknowledgement letter. What you should do is call and try to get through to someone to confirm that they have received this, and you'll probably have to send it in again. So John always tells me not to worry. So I'm going to tell you not to worry and just take action. right? Just call and
It's-
try to get
yeah.
through.
I mean,
And
it's hard not to worry.
it's
but-
hard not to worry. But, how long ago did you send the letter? If it was 30 days ago, 60 days ago, 90 days ago, 120 days ago, you still shouldn't worry. You should just kind of try to confirm that they have received it.
That's right. An old Tidewater lawyer that we met right after we moved here, after passing the bar, he told me one time that, I told both of us, I think, but I forget even the context, but he said that worrying was like paying interest on a loan that never comes due.
Yeah.
And it took me some time to sort of process that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense, yet we still can't take the advice.
Yeah, I know.
Because worrying is human
Yeah,
nature.
it is. It
I
is.
was worried about something before this started, and I just got to change focus. Let's play some music, or look up the fiance visa processing time so we can be prepared for this call. And yes, then I stopped worrying about it because I stopped thinking about it. All right.
Okay, you want to grab one over here next?
Yes.
We have a lot over there, but
Yeah.
okay.
This is a really good question.
The one coming up here?
Yeah. Let's read it.
So the question is, when applying for citizenship, is it necessary to include that I'm trans on my application?
Again, a really good question. And, I'm thinking that if I'm not even going to, there's actually lots of articles and things written about this. As far as, I think maybe if you've elected and you've made, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. If I had this case and I didn't do any research at all, now that would never happen, right? I would do the research, but let's just say all the research, there's no research out there. But if I had this case, and again, this is not legal advice, I would put it on the application. And if there's a place to put it on the application, which there is.
That's what I was kind of playing through my head,
Right.
running through the application. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No.
that.
I mean, we both have the same idea, but there is some law on this. I just don't know what it is. We haven't had to complete an N400 application with these set of facts. But I know that even when I've spoken at the AILA conferences, there have been panels on this very topic, but I would not leave it out necessarily, and I would notate it on the application. But I haven't done any research, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're just kind of thinking out loud. Obviously, it's clearly not a bar to
Right,
naturalizing,
yeah.
And so the question really is whether it's,
whether it's
wiser to disclose it and just claim it and own it, or not.
Yeah. Like I said, it's about completing the application and telling the truth on the application.
Exactly.
And how an officer would read that if you checked one gender and you're trans, and so you really don't identify as that gender any longer. What would that look like on your application? And also, if there's a gender or no gender, and again, I haven't even, again, reviewed this. You want the gender to be correct on your naturalization certificate, right? If that's what you want. So I was actually taking a look at replacement of naturalization certificate application just 2 days ago. And on the N565, you can replace your naturalization certificate if you have changed genders. So going back to the original question,
right,
you should put it down if that's what you want on your naturalization certificate, and as more of a is it cautionary measure? Not cautionary, but just to be on the safe side. I guess that is cautionary.
Yeah. It is.
Again, I don't know how you are outwardly, or whether this is, it's something that you're thinking about doing, or already have redone, or have already made the shift. But I would claim it.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking that too. Like, just
We-
again, this is not legal advice, but just when I said earlier that just to claim it, to own it, it's because just generally with naturalization, honesty is the policy. You don't want to whatever anything
Right.
is, it is what it is. And you want to be truthful about it and honest about it, right down to the red light ticket that you had in Gunnison County, Colorado, that you think nobody will know anything about, but they do. So you want to make sure you include everything.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a unofficial yes for me.
Yeah.
Not legal advice, though.
Not legal advice, but yeah.
Happy to take a look at it. Happy to fill that out for you.
Yeah. Right.
And get it filed. All right. You know what? I want to go back to Dave's question about how long does it take? And he also asked a question about cost. How long does a fiance visa petition cost? How long does maybe a marriage process, the immigrant visa through marriage? It really depends. We do have to look at your case on a case by case basis. Can't tell you what it's going to cost. And generally, the fee is going to be the same for 80% of our clients, right? But there is the 20% where it's not the same. So I don't want to quote you a fee, because I don't want to be reckless and not know the full facts of your case by just recklessly quoting some fee where I have no idea what the facts of the case, what the facts
Right.
are. So going back to that question, Dave, I didn't mean to skip that part.
Yeah, once we have facts in a case, and once we know exactly what we're going to be doing, we've been doing this for 23 years. We know how much time and how much effort and what's going to be involved. And we're really, really very efficient. We know exactly typically what's going to be involved. And so the fees aren't just arbitrary numbers pulled out of the sky. They're based entirely on our 23 years of experience doing it. So if you are ready, for all of you out there, if you are ready to move forward with your case and you want to have an attorney represent you, which I highly recommend. I know that we use attorneys in all of our other business dealings that are not immigration law related.
Yeah, we have our own lawyers, guys.
When we buy things or do business things or estate planning, we're lawyers, but we don't try to wing it with those things or research it on our own. We hire an estate attorney. We hire a business attorney.
Yeah.
And you should hire, I'm just going to say it, you should hire an immigration lawyer. You really should. And so give us a call. All right.
All right. I think we're over here. Charlene, she actually has a question over on TikTok as well. She says, I do have a question. Okay. Should I wait for my 10-year green card to arrive before I file my citizenship? And Charlene, if you're listening to the question a few times ago, if you are eligible to file for citizenship, and when I mean eligible, I mean, it's time for you to file for citizenship. You are a person of good moral character. I mean, I can name a bunch of things. You haven't been out of the United States more than you've been in. There are many, many eligibility points for naturalization. So I don't want to just say, oh yeah, apply for citizenship. Even you don't even have to wait for that 10-year card. What I'm saying is, yes, you can file for US citizenship before you get your 10-year card if the time is right. If it's time for you to file for citizenship, right? 2 years and 9 months from the time that you get your lawful permanent resident card, you can file for citizenship. If you are still living with your U.S. citizen spouse, well, if you're living with your U.S. citizen spouse for the past 3 years, if your U.S. citizen spouse has been a U.S. citizen for the past 3 years, and you've been married to that U.S. citizen for the past 3 years, then yes, time-wise, you can. We'll throw the question out there, but should you?
But should
right?
you?
Because are you eligible? Are you going to file your naturalization application and put something on there and say, oh, well, it looks like I'm actually not eligible because, I'm not a person of good moral character. I didn't file my taxes. I didn't pay child, there are many, many factors that would knock you out of the U.S. citizenship box. Okay. I think I think that's.
And here's the scary part. Not only are there factors that can knock you out of being eligible, that there are factors that can come to light that might even result in something worse than not being eligible, but an actual being put into removal proceedings,
right,
based on something that was not on anyone's radar, and now you've just sort of put it on their radar. So,
as I say, you've put your head in the mouth of the lion, and all she has to do is close it, and then your head is bitten off. I actually, met with some people this week, and I said, status quo, baby. Sometimes status quo is better than whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And we'll get too much into the details, but great question, Charlene.
Yeah, and Charlene she was going to be right here next on TikTok. You're right. So she leapfrogged just a little bit by popping over to Facebook.
All right, Charlene, thanks for joining us on TikTok and on Facebook. Guys, join all of our social media so you don't miss us on Friday or whenever it is that we come on, which is generally Friday.
Before we move in a different direction by another question, perhaps, Roger wanted to know, because we're talking about good moral character, he wants to know if moral turpitude can prevent him from getting his citizenship.
Absolutely.
So
it can.
I'm going to make sure we address that, Roger, as we just said. Yes, it can.
It can. But again, have someone file, you have a concern about crime of moral turpitude. Maybe you have a concern about previous misrepresentation. Like you have a concern about your taxes or bankruptcy or whatever it might be on that naturalization application. Go talk to an attorney, guys, and go have the attorney file your application, because it's not worth going into the snake pit without the necessary tools. And I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here. I mean, it's just that, whether you have issues or not, whether there are a lot of different pitfalls when applying for immigration processes. So especially for naturalization, not even just especially all of it. Like,
well, I think that, all of them can be complicated, and there are different things involved. I think naturalization sometimes can be sort of a trick for people, because it seems pretty straightforward if they feel like they're eligible. And it can really, really have a lot of pitfalls, especially, as Radlyn said, if you have something if you have a slightly checkered past and your things you're concerned about, then you really, really need to consult with an attorney before you move forward with it. I absolutely implore you to, you're worth it. There are different fees that people charge for consultations. We charge a consultation fee of $295, which is absolutely a great investment for you to make sure that you're going to do it the right way and that you're not going to have a problem. And we might even advise you not to do it at all, as Radlyn said, and just stay the course where you are if we think it's going to create more trouble. So it's worth it for you to invest. And if you don't want to talk to us, as Radlyn said, talk to a reputable immigration attorney. Make sure you talk to somebody who does immigration. This is something that I don't want to bash other lawyers, but I do want to warn you, immigration law is really complicated. And if you see an attorney who has, everything they do estate planning, and they do divorce, and they do tax work, and they do, real estate, and they also do immigration, I would just be careful with that. Because somebody dabbling in immigration is not a good thing. They really should be, the one thing that they do is immigration law, and that's all they do.
Right.
All right.
Amen.
Amen, brother, sister. All right. Edna wants to know, if I have DACA, can I travel to Florida?
Yes, you can travel.
You sure can.
In the United States. Yep. Safe travels.
Safe travels.
If you don't have advanced parole, I would not recommend traveling outside of the United States. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Because Edna's asking about in the 50 states.
Yeah, she's talking about Florida, and I'm assuming because she's asking that she's that she's considering flying. If you're driving, then you really are. You're
Yep.
only where people only know where you are if you're speeding. So Edna, don't speed. All right.
Oh, my
here.
turn.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
was going to grab.
I was sort of.
Yeah, we got a lot of
I
questions.
was thinking about Florida and driving to Florida and speeding. Okay. Let's see. All right, Claudia's a good question. Claudia says, "Is my son a qualifying relative for a waiver?" So here, Claudia is asking about the extreme hardship waiver. I'm assuming, and a son is not a qualifying relative for a waiver. If we're talking about the extreme hardship waiver, I mean that's what basically it is: the 601A, the 601, the 212. Now, sometimes we use children as, say, if there's a spouse in this case, right? We use the spouse's, we show the hardship of the spouse sometimes through a child. So if the extreme hardship to the spouse is they're going to have to quit their job, so there's going to be extreme financial hardship to care for this child, for the child, because the the applicant is not able to get the waiver, then we sort of do it that way. But if we're talking about just the son as a qualifying waiver for something like a 601 or 601A, the answer is no. Hopefully that helps, Claudia. But if you're thinking about filing a waiver, always check in with your immigration attorney with the most recent laws. That's current law. I don't think that's going to change, but if you're filing a waiver, you need to have an attorney. We have the waiver queen in our office.
Yeah, we do.
So give us a call if you need some help with that waiver.
Yeah, she's bad. You know what?
All right.
All right, we ready to grab one over here?
Yes.
These are not. I know these are kind of open-ended, and we get something like this often. But had the I-485 interview March 2022. No decision yet. Requested ombudsman help. Nothing yet. What can I do?
March of 20. Okay, I thought you meant like March 22nd. March of last year.
Yeah, March 2000.
So you can call us and we can file a lawsuit. And then a decision will be made on your case very soon after.
Yeah, this is kind of a final step, and we've done this, and we're not allowed to guarantee outcomes. The Virginia State Bar and every other bar in the country, including the American Bar Association, prohibits that. But we can tell you that we've had a lot of success with these, and it's something that's kind of scary for people. What Radlyn's talking about is taking the final step where, immigration law is ultimately can be taken to a federal court, and you're suing the government to take action, and it's a scary prospect because you're suing the people that are that you're asking for the benefit from. But our experience has been that it's effective,
and it should be used. I mean, if you've done inquiries, right? You're doing an inquiry every 30 days, like you're supposed to, or like you need to and want to. You've done a congressional inquiry. You've asked your local congressperson to make an inquiry to USCIS on your behalf, and maybe they say, "Oh, it's still pending." Then a lawsuit can be the right appropriate measure. Now, you have to also take into account the posted USCIS processing times. So even though you had your interview in March of 2022, look on the USCIS processing times. When did you file this I-485? And is it still within processing times? So that is going to govern whether or not you should file that lawsuit or not. But if you are seriously considering it and your case is outside of processing times, then please give us a call, because we are the attorneys that will be able to help you and get a result and get an answer.
Yep. We know how to do it. We've done it before.
And sometimes people are afraid to file a lawsuit, and rightly so. Going into litigation is not, it's not for the faint of heart, but they say, I don't want to do this because, gosh, what if they find something? That's one of the first questions we ask. Like, hey, is there a reason why this could be under review, under investigation, or is this just your case has fallen into the cave and or placed in the cave?
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not taken out. So
Right.
there are times when there's a reason for the delay. And if our clients, have to be honest with this. If it's just like, I have no idea what's going on, then we move forward. All right. Great question though.
Okay. That was over here, right?
Where was the question?
Yep. We're back to Facebook. That was a TikTok question.
All right.
We take turns here.
Saeed, hello. Nice family photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cute kids.
Is it better to apply for immigration through citizen parents and siblings? How long will it take? And will it impact an H-1B or TN application? Okay. So this is a pretty wide open question. But the question, is it better? I'm just going to start with that. I don't know. I mean, this is a perfect example of, we need to sit down with the client and find out what the best way forward is. Where are you located? Do you have the H-1B? Are you traveling on the H-1B? H-1B is a dual intent. So it's, if you have an immigrant visa petition pending, it's probably not going to impact that. TN is a completely different story. It's not a dual intent. So there's just kind of a lot of factors here, Saeed. I wish I could kind of dissect it for you like a fiance visa, the steps. But because you got citizen parents or siblings, we maybe have a H-1B here, a TN. Are we in the U.S. or outside of the United States? Are we traveling outside the country? So a lot going on here. And
that's so weird.
in just two questions, right? Two questions. There's a lot.
I literally was gonna say that. It took on my tongue. That's weird. Sorry.
I don't know. All good. So, Saeed, great question. Great example of how we would really need to dig in there and help you find a solution and file that petition through your parents or your siblings if that's the right course, the best course. All right.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Got a lot of great questions.
Okay. We'll take one from TikTok and then maybe try to knock the rest of these Facebook questions out here because they're easier to see. Here's a question.
No, we have to go back and forth. We have to be fair.
Okay. Hear that, TikTok?
Lots of love for my TikTok fam.
All right. Question from TikTok here. My parents are residents. Can they petition for me? I have DACA and I'm 28 years old.
So, 28 years old, parents are lawful permanent residents. The beneficiary, the son or daughter has a DACA. Mm-hmm. Your parents can file a petition for you if you are unmarried. Lawful permanent residents can petition for their unmarried sons or daughter, no matter what the age is of the son or daughter. So can they? Yes, they can. What's going to happen after that? And can you get that green card? I mean, some of the unasked questions in this question are, how long is it going to take me to get my green card through my parents? And the answer is, we have to look to the visa bulletin. And currently the visa bulletin is showing that, I don't know where this person is from, but it's, all countries other than China, India, all countries other than Mexico and the Philippines for final action dates are processing. The cutoff date is September 22nd, 2015. So what that means is if your parents filed the I-130 petition for you now, then it would take about 8 years for a visa to become available. Now, but then we kind of have to go to another step And just because a visa is available doesn't mean that you're eligible to adjust your status. So we would have to look into whether you're grandfathered under 245I. Of course, we'd have to look at how you entered the United States. So there are a lot of different factors here. Again, like Saeed's question, and an immigration attorneys like us, we would have to just get in there, dig in, and find the best way forward in the solution to seeing whether you should do it or not. I mean, I am of the opinion that, file that I-130 petition and move on with your life, but always have to, under these circumstances, let the clients know that, look, this is going to take a really long time. It's giving you no intermediary benefit at all. This is just a piece of paper at this point in time, until you can use it, until you can use it to get that green card when the time comes. So if you're just filing, the I-130 petition, you have to know that, you have to, knowledge is power, because you don't want to just be thinking, oh gosh, in 8 years, I'm going to get my green card. Maybe not. That could have been confusing, but I didn't mean it to be confusing. If it was confusing, the bottom line is, everything is fact and case specific, but if you want to have this in your back pocket, give us a call. We'll be happy to file that I-130 petition for you if it is the right thing to do in your case. All right. Let's see here. Are we with Anna here? Is that the next?
I think so.
Okay. Anna says, we filed petition for my son last February of 2023. He is 18 years old now. What will happen if he gets 21 years old till the petition gets approved? I am a green card holder. So the question that Anna is asking is really about the aging out to a different category. Right now, Anna's son is 18 years old, and he falls under the F2A preference category. This is the basically the child of a lawful permanent resident, child or spouse of a lawful permanent resident. That child has to be unmarried and under the age of 21. And when her son turns 21, unfortunately, he's going to go into the F2B category, which is, like I mentioned, we're going from, a 2.5, 3-year wait to an 8-year wait when the child turns 21, unfortunately. So, and if Anna, if you're from the Philippines and your son is born in the Philippines, then that's even a much longer wait. It's the cutoff date is October 22nd, 2011. So you're looking at 12 years, right? It's 11, 12 years. It's hard to stomach, but you filed the I-130 petition, you did what you had to do, and these are the rules, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As far as the visa bulletin is concerned. Now, that all said, if you have the ability to file for U.S. citizenship and get your U.S. citizenship before your son turns 21, then that would be a great thing to do, because as a U.S. citizen, you are going to lock his age in no matter what. If you file before 21, no matter how long it takes USCIS to approve that petition. So hopefully that helps. Also, if there's a step parent involved here, you got to look at that angle as well. There's a lot, guys. There's a lot that goes into the analysis of who should file, and if there's an age out possibility, what can we do to prevent that? But a wonderful question. Next.
Yeah, here's an interesting one over here on TikTok. I'm currently waiting for my green card, but I want to join the military. What are my options? My husband is in the military already.
I think it depends on the recruiter. I really can't speak to this too much. I'm going to venture to guess that you're going to have green card in hand to actually join, but I don't know. I think that you would definitely have to talk to a recruiter and what their requirements are, because we're definitely not the experts on that.
Yeah, that's
what
I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Is to talk to the recruiter about that.
Right. I mean, if you I have no idea. I was gonna do some more guessing, but I don't want to guess. Okay. So Anna asks a follow-up question. How long does it take to petition him? How long does USCIS take to process that I-130 petition as the son of a lawful permanent resident? And it depends on the service center where the case is. Right now, I'm looking at the F2A category. It's 14 and a half to 20, 30. Sorry, all right, back up. Depending on the service center right now, it's 14 and a half to 37.5 months. 14 and a half being the shortest time if your case went to the Nebraska Service Center, and Vermont Service Center being the longest time of 37 and a half months if that's where your case went.
Yeah, and it's a random thing. So don't move to Lincoln, Nebraska just thinking, oh, I want to file out here.
Right. Yep.
I mean, unless you want to move to Lincoln, Nebraska for other reasons, but don't
Hey,
do it for
it's
that
not.
reason.
It doesn't matter where you move or where you live. I mean, we have
Right.
cases going to California all the time,
Yeah, so
and we're
they
on the
just-
East Coast.
Exactly. So they don't just, it's not whatever you're closest to. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like a scattering them around. All right. Here we had another, this is just something we should probably mention to people. Sometimes, you can get help from your local Congress folks. My mom had an I-485 interview in 2020. No decision yet. We had a congressperson send an inquiry.
Too. Yeah.
Inquiry too. So going back to these cases where nothing's happening, that's something else that we occasionally will advise folks to do, is to
Yep.
reach out to your representative. Sometimes they can find something out.
Yeah, and with that, if the case is not done, then the same recommendation is maybe consider a lawsuit,
Mhm.
because if it's been pending for 3 years or whatever, it may be outside of processing times, and we'd have to check the field office and how long it's taking to do that process. So
Yeah, this takes us back to that suing the government situation in federal court. If your congressperson doesn't pull a rabbit out of the hat for you,
and it's hit or miss. We do appreciate their assistance, though, always.
Yeah.
No shade on their help. We take whatever we can get.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, it is 1 p.m.
Yeah,
I know
we're
that
out
there
of
are
time.
some
Yeah.
questions that we did not get to, but we will be back next week. We're
Friday.
here every Friday. If you guys are ready to hire an attorney and you're done with trying to figure this stuff out, and you've had
Yeah.
it, or you just you're starting out and you're just like, I would really like
And you're just
professionals.
like, I've
Yep.
been in the Google muck with so many
The
things.
Google muck.
I'm not going to go into it for immigration. I'm going to stay out of the Google muck.
Yeah, sometimes when people call me, I was like, okay, they say, what should I do? I say, well, the first thing you should do is don't Google anything. Don't Google the question. All right, guys, it's been
All right.
awesome.
Yeah, it
Thank you
has
so
been.
much for the amazing questions.
Yeah,
it
thanks
didn't
for
just
joining
help
us.
you, it helped everyone else who's listening.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next Friday
2
from
thumbs
12
up,
to 1
everyone.
p.m. 2 thumbs up.
Have a great weekend. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Take care.